What's up, guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes, and today, well, we got something for you that has been floating around on Reddit and Discord for quite a while. I've never made an official video on it, and a lot of people ask me, like, Barry, you need to share this with your community. Let them know if they're starting a new account or are somewhere in the early game, this is the most optimal build order you can do. And maybe, just maybe, our next free-to-play, we literally follow this guide to see how far we can get and how fast we can get there. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Hopefully this helps you guys out too if you're on your early game building journey. Let's jump right into it. So for those of you guys who just want to see the entire build order, just grab it right here. You got it. You can snap it. Everything information you need wise, all that fun stuff. But what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in and we're going to be talking about each individual part of this one at a time. Now, the first step here is, of course, you do get a lot of Garudas from the new hero quest system. As you go through the chapters, level up, you'll get to be able to make like a 10-star very, very easy. But what we highly suggest is you go for an Eloise instead. Now, depends on what time of the year you're starting a new account, because of course Garuda is the easy pick, Eloise is the smart pick, and Eloise is the absolute goat of the early game. We've talked about it a million times. We have the beginner how to build her guide on the channel as well if you want to go look for the Eloise hero build guide. She just does absolutely everything. But again, if you are going to build Garuda, get whatever progress you can, and then once you get Eloise copies, you're going to regress the Garuda and build her. Next up is you are going to be building a couple of very important support heroes in this team. Number one is Ignis. Just 9-star Ignis. When she dies, she gives 100% control immunity to the Eloise. She can also infuse her with extra energy, all that fun stuff. And then also a 9-star Waldeck, thanks to his Blood Frenzy ability. When he dies, he basically gives the ally with Blood Frenzy, where if they get attacked by someone, or when they attack or get attacked, they have a chance, or they basically just heal. So it's good, trust me. I know I just flubbed that a lot, but it's a healing ability, and these two do absolutely amazing things. Ignore this text. This text is more or less for the bottom row that we're going to go over next. So after that, you're going to move on and you are going to build a Tix. Why? Number one, he's just absolutely amazing in the early game. You're going to want him in pair with the Eloise so that you can fully clear Tower of Oblivion. He's also going to be your answer of clearing Death 100 on your account as well. Very good hero. Even when he dies, he creates a little ghost. If you haven't already gotten Sealand 20 done with just her, you'll definitely get it with him. And of course, you're going to build a 10-star Heart Watcher, because there's a lot of resources you can get from the guild boss, and there's a lot of resources you can get from completing all the way through chapter or stage 9 in Broken Spaces. You're going to need at least a 9-star Heart Watcher to do that. And she's very, very strong. Her active ability, reducing the attack of the enemy, is going to be very, very important. Once you do that, you're going to move on down to a couple things here. You're going to build an Eloise, because again, she is a tenant for your Eloise. Definitely plan on building her as your first dark hero. Try to get a couple extra copies if you can as well. And then you can see here, imprint Tix to V2, rest into Ithaca when that happens, then swap their imprints into Fairy Queen Vesa when you build her. So number one, you're going for the V4 Eloise. That is hands down most important. V2 the Tix. And then, yeah, you're going to build an Ithaca if you can't build the Fairy Queen Vesa just yet. But once you do, you keep your main household as Eloise. You keep everything invested in Eloise, and then you dump the rest into the V3 imprint right here for Fairy Queen Vesa. Once you do that, you're basically making Eloise V4, making her the main homeowner, all that fun stuff. Support for Broken Spaces. This is what we're talking about. These two Delaciums are going to be able to replicate that attack debuff that Heart Watcher is putting on the enemies. That's going to mean they're dealing 0 damage to your team. And if you have Fairy Queen Vesa in the mix as well, it makes it just that much easier. After that, you're going to be going on to build the last Eloise tenant here, or no, sorry, the third Eloise tenant, which is going to be on Kirimaro. The old version of this guide, the reason why it says Ithaca and it doesn't even spell it right, the old version had you build her, the new version not so much. But yeah, you're going to build up to that, and then you're going to build the last tenant, which is weird, but it is the Jara. Eventually, you will use this Jara for something else, but that's when you're transitioning away from your Eloise. The main part of this is just building the jar. It's very easy to get our copies with those purple Transcendence Hero chests. Very, very easy to do. You're going to build her as the last tenant and then add other heroes in there focused on clearing Sealand 20. So you can finish building your wall deck up potentially if you want to clear Abyss Sealand. You can swap over to like Garuda or Rogan to get Sealand 20 done in Forest. I highly suggest you try to get Forest done as fast as possible, because as you see next is going to be your second Transcendence hero, which is Mystic Fairy Freya. So if you have Rogan's, Fairy Queen Vesta, Mystic Fairy Freya, you can see you're going to get a decent amount of progress in that Sealand. Usually what I say too is, I mean, you could always go with the Queen as well, because Queen gets one of the easiest Sealand 25s done in the world, but I would stick to this overall. So you can kind of see the path you take around here. It makes a bit of sense, honestly, it does. And then of course, in the meantime with all this, after you get these heroes, you're going to want to try to clear out all the other Sealands. So Dark Sealand, Light Sealand. Let's see, you're going to have Shadow done. You're going to need Abyss, but you can do that with a wall deck if you finish building him up in the meantime, because once this is kind of done with, you don't need the 9-star wall deck as much. Fortress, just try to build something easy like an Inosuke or even a Holmes Young. Holmes Young can absolutely crush Sealand. What's the last one we're missing here? Abyss, I mean, Forest is just the tricky one. You can get it done with the Rogan. It's a little tricky. And then, of course, there's this little insert down here, down the bottom right, talking about how to progress your artifacts. Now, the first thing you should get one golden crown, just a single golden crown to throw on your Eloise. After that, the guide wants you to go for fully splendid melodic strings. That's going to be on your ticks, and that's going to make him do insane amounts of damage in Aspen Dungeon and get you a really good clear. After that, you can throw it on someone like your Fairy Queen Vesta for PvE damage. And then you're going to start transitioning towards going for the Jara energy feed style team with Lord of Fear Aspen and things like that. It says, while acquiring Demon Bells and Rui Scepters, a swap from Eloise carry to a Sword Flash or a Lord of Fear Aspen will occur. I personally like Lord of Fear Aspen over Sword Flash, but Sword Flash can't be understated as still one of the most amazing heroes to have in the early game. She absolutely crushes it. It's much later in the game that she finally starts falling off. Lord of Fear Aspen, though, absolutely amazing. And if you're going for 2 Rui, essentially you get your Vesta, you get a Mystic Fairy Freya, which again, I mean, you can go for Lord of Fear Aspen second, something like that. I feel like this is not a requirement really. It just makes sense since you're already going the route of the Force faction for additional Sealand progress. But after that, you're going to start saving up for your Jara and your Lord of Fear Aspen. Getting those CC heroes out very early on your account is going to be absolutely amazing. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you would change anything. But granted, this is kind of what both Reddit and Discord have kind of understood as this is the go-to build order for this type of account. So let me know what you guys think. Maybe we should try to emulate this on the next free-to-play challenge. That could be fun, especially if we start it not during a big event, because then we could go the route of Garuda and show you guys how and when to swap. Hopefully this helps you guys out. I'll see you guys next time.